It is approximately 5:19 in the PM on the CST right now, and it is approximately, of course, 6:19 if you're on Eastern Standard Time. I mean, I don't mean to get too persnickety about time zones, but I happen to communicate pretty regularly between EST and CST time zone. So hope you guys have had a great day. I just had a couple of pieces, just one main piece that I wanted to talk about today, and I've talked about this before, but more specifically, I'm kind of on about things that I think that are advancing in the background. While we're having the Bondugals in the Senate and and I called it the Coliseum this morning. I was in a kind of a mood this morning, but I really it's more than tiresome, and it's more than blasphemous the way that a lot of these politicians come out and present a win. What they consider to be a win is a win for you. You know what's at stake. I've said this before. Hope you guys are doing well out there. But I just think they're just going to keep. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep raising the stakes, and it's going to affect the common man. And they're going to cite, oh, they're actually, this is about convenience, and that they're pretty much on tap to sell their futuristic plans under the auspices of convenience, or just saying that they know what's best for you. I mean, can you imagine a world where we have an economic forum, a world economic forum, where men get to, the world's elite get together and they generally just plan what's best for the common man and, you know, for our lives. And then they write books about they write books about what the government's jobs are, is to convince you that, this is not only for your convenience, but it's what's best for you. We're looking out for your best interest, and that's their job ultimately. So, I always appreciate you guys for coming on and tuning in and coming in and loving on the like button. As I say, that's just, that's still necessary in these times, in the shuffle, I guess. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. So, to that point, I want to talk about conveniences and inconveniences. Like right now, I think that I wanted to get on and talk to you guys about something that came from TechCrunch. This piece that I wanted to talk about, and just at least present it to you. And you, of course, you can formulate your own opinions for yourselves. It comes from TechCrunch.com. And TechCrunch.com is, this was rolled out at PST. Hi, Derek C. Williams. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. I know this is later in the day, but I appreciate you for coming in. Derek C. Williams says, as is a trilateral commission in the Council of 300. Yes. I was amazed at, when I saw the number of people, the journalists that are on that list. The number of journalists that are on that list. Was it Fareed Zakari? I think he was on that list. I mean, there's a ton of people that are members of those organizations, or to me. Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that. He says, respect you, BSWA. Yeah, thanks so much for coming in and for loving on that like button. And for those of you that are in the background, or if you're a voyeur right now, if you're not sure whether you're coming in, that's okay. That's okay too. So I'm going to keep going here. So I just wanted to let you know that Apple launches a digital ID, and this is a way to carry your passport on your phone for use at the TSA checkpoints. Okay, so here again, this is already laced. The title of this is already laced with convenience, a way for you to carry your passport on your phone for use at TSA checkpoints. Okay, all right. So yeah. And this is, to me, this is another thing that I think for every shutdown, they're going to implement more and more of the digital demands are going to be there. ZW8725, how are you? Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to keep going here. So, according to this, Apple Watch and iPhone owners in the United States will now be able to carry a copy of their U.S. passport on their device, which they can then use at TSA checkpoints across more than 250 U.S. airports when traveling domestically. Okay. So that's there you got that's what you can do, right? That's that's making your life easier, right? Is that what that's their whole goal in life, right? Is to make your life easier, right? It's all for you. Okay. ZW8725, Colombia. Haven't been to Colombia in I went to Colombia last in I went to Bogota in 2020. It was probably about 2016, maybe 2015, 2016. It's the last time I've been there. In fact, I was really upset. I lost my Colombian emerald. I lost it within a few years after I got back to the States, but it's okay. I have friends from there, but no, I will not be going. But thank you. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it. Let's keep going here. So according to this, the feature known as digital ID was previously announced as part of the iOS 26 release and adds passports to the list of existing government. Let's see, I got a little bit cut off here. Amazing, right? Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you so much for coming in. And for those of you that have already loved on that button, not tap once, but tap two. And you can love on the like button. And like I said, if you really want to throw some caution to the wind, just go ahead and share it out. Hi, let's see. Fred Chambers, 7030. Hey, you made it. We're happy you came in. Thanks so much for coming in. Derek C. Williams says, you can become a digital citizen through the tiny country of Estonia here. Apply today. Gotcha, Derek C. Williams. Gotcha. So let me see here. Where did I leave off here? Hang on a second. Oh, there you go. Look at you doing those PSAs. Fred Chambers, 7030. He says, if you're new to the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. You guys are, like I said, you guys have been hanging in there with me. So let's see. I think this is something that they were releasing with the iOS 26 release. But it says it adds passports to the list of existing government IDs supported in the Apple Wallet. So if you've already been using that Apple Wallet with the features that it currently had previously, then, it may not be a big deal for you. But, some of us are not just jumping on this. Okay, we're not hopping on here. Okay, so the company has rolled out the feature to a dozen states and Puerto Rico, with more on the way. Okay, so according to this, using a digital ID in the Apple Wallet, users can create and present an ID even if they don't have a real ID, compliant driver's license, or state ID. So, that was something that California was driving some time ago. So they wanted people to get the real IDs. And I had to get a real ID, California ID. And then, of course, some of these other states followed, okay? So if you don't have that real ID, they said that eventually that was going to create a problem for traveling. So let's keep going here. So even if you don't have the real ID, compliant driver's license, or state ID, you can use this. You can still use this digital ID in the Apple Wallet, okay? So it says the ID does not replace a physical passport and is not currently supported for international travel or crossing borders, Apple notes. So see, there you go. We already know that things aren't quite where they're not quite lined up right now. Okay, so let's keep going here. So it says users can add their passport to wallet by tapping on the Add Plus or the plus button in the wallet app. Okay. Then selecting, quote, driver's license or ID cards, end quote, From there, select the digital ID and follow the steps to complete the setup process, which includes using the iPhone to scan the photo page of your passport, of their passport, and scanning the chip embedded on the back to ensure the passport's authenticity. Okay. I think I got my last passport expedited or something, and hey, 10 years goes by fast. at least it's going by fast for me, okay? So we'll just keep going here. All right, so it says users will also have to take a selfie for verification and then complete a series of facial and head movements for additional security. So that's already there. Let's keep going here. Support for IDs in Apple Wallet is the last obstacle standing in the way of making iPhones a replacement for a physical wallet, as it can now hold payment cards, loyalty cards, tickets, and passes, and more. Presenting Apple's new digital ID in person works much like using Apple Pay. You can double click the side button or home button to access your wallet, then select digital ID. The iPhone or Apple Watch should be held near an identity reader, and users will use Face ID or Touch ID to authenticate their information. Users will also be able to see what identity information is being requested before completing the verification process. The feature is still in beta, as it hasn't fully rolled out to all the service readers, all the device readers at the TSA checkpoints at this time. The TSA website offers a list of which states are currently supporting mobile ID, but still advises travelers to carry their physical ID. Okay, so I think there was a process that you could pay money to be expedited through TSA anyway. But see, this is what they've wanted all along. This is what they've wanted all along. Derek C. Williams says a list of countries that already have digital ID is here. Thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. He says maybe ZW. The fact is, one can apply for digital citizenship. He says I looked up Sigma computer fees. Computer fi. I gotcha. So, yeah, I think that's kind of, so yeah, I think you used to be able to pay for there was another service that they had, that TSA had not too long ago. I'm not sure if it's, I mean, there's another way that you could get expedited through TSA. I think you paid like $100 a year or something like that, and allegedly you don't take off your shoes and you don't do all this nonsense, and then maybe you don't go through the biometric machine. We'll just have to see how these things unfold, because I think they're trying to get this, they're going to try to get this rolled out to get it in there. And so yeah, that's absolutely what's going on there. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. Like I'm going to tell you, earlier today, I was really on about how this whole government shutdown and all this theater and stuff was just utterly gross, and just there's all kinds of bad theater and blasphemy and horrible scripts and just symbolism. The thing was dripping with symbolism. Okay, 40 days and 40 nights, you're dripping with mockery. Biblical mockery is what you're doing. Blasphemous mockery is what I consider that to be. And then how they just talked about it they made it seem like it was some type of, the final score is, you wouldn't believe the way they wanted to, the framers and the gatekeepers were, the way they were spinning this whole thing about, the government flipping the lights back on. I mean, like I said, they always let you know where you rank in the scheme of things. Like, oh, well, hey, the lights are back on. The slaves are back to work now. They're going to go in there and clean it up for visitors. I just pulling too many strings, way too many strings. Flying Guillotines here. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. It is it's your Thursday evening, and you I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button. It makes a difference. It really does. So I appreciate you so much. Derek Stevens says the big club, as George Carlin said. Yes, certainly, it's pretty big, and they want to say, "Oh, I want this party to pay for it in November when they go to the polls and blah 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 blah," and oh, they were holding Americans hostage and blah 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 blah, and I'm just thinking, it's High Anarchy Television. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. Like I said, if you guys for coming in here and loving on the like button, it goes a long way. And like I said, if you want to go, even if you really want to throw caution to the wind, you hit the share button and it just, whew, it does numbers. It does numbers. Flying Guillotine said, living my life day by day, like, I remember that, Derek C. Williams. I remember that. So I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much for you guys for coming in. But yes, so they are rolling. They're going to continue to roll out to roll out the digital implementation. I think they don't have the infrastructure that they need, but I think once they get it, it's going to be with every crisis, there's an opportunity. And I said that the same thing. Is it a crisis or is it an opportunity? And then who's an opportunity for? Is it an opportunity for you? Is it an opportunity for your community? If anybody out there is already a part of like a homesteading or anything, you already know what, I think you know what I'm on about in that regard. Like, is it what, because most people that already have established homesteads, they're already, they're set, they're in good shape, whether they shut these things down or not. They're already in position they're not going to run out of food. They're not going to, they've put a lot of things in place. Convos with Cam is here. Convos with Cam. Thank you so much for coming in, Convos with Cam. I really appreciate it. I just want to tell you guys, I was talking about, I'm interrupting your evening to bring you something from TechCrunch, and it's called, this is the Apple launches digital ID, a way for you to carry your passport on your phone at your TSA checkpoints. It's so funny how this is rolled out. The timing of this. Timing is important. Timing is the essence of life. It still is. I believe that. I think it's how timely is it that this would come out when you have the airlines about to crash and burn, not literally, but that this came out with TSA being laid off, or TSA being, coming to work and not being paid, or I'm not sure if any of them had any other agreements at this point. I don't know, but I think that they should have something in place. They should have had something in place in the first place. But I would think with all the things that go on when these kinds of disasters happen, these crisis containment situations, that it's certainly not going to encourage people to go and work for the government, not based on the way that things have played out, or the way that the government employees were treated. Because I, for one, do not believe that our congressmen and Congress kings and queens, I'm not convinced that they actually live check to check. They're not like the common man out here that's one disaster away, or we're the 10 o'clock news for them. It's not. They're not in the same. It's just not the same. Okay. In fact, I would venture, I'm going to go out on a limb and say most of them, I think, probably have more than multiple homes. I think they may not go in there with it, but after being in there for a few years, yeah, you've got a DC home, and you've got a home for the place in which your constituency based home. Let's see. Derek C. Williams is positivity and a pretty package. Combos with Cam. Thank you so much. Yeah, please go ahead and share your guys' links in here without a doubt. And I thank you guys so much for loving on the like button. I really appreciate it. Fred Chambers 7030 says, so the U.S. Treasury stopped making pennies today. I think I saw that as well, because it's 4 cents to make it. So will everything round up? Touche. Great point, Fred Chambers 7030. You know, and I said this before, you know, it's like a deja vu kind of a cycle that I think that we're on. You know, back in 2019, 2020, shout out to the class of COVID-19, shout out to the class of 2020. You know, there was something about pennies and about the coin shortage. I remember seeing the coin shortage at CVS back then. Just about after every time the crisis hits, the digital stuff starts rearing its head. The digital hacks start showing up. Oh, well, we don't have any change, or we can't do this. We don't have any cash right now. So you gotta, you gotta do something else. You gotta use another form of payment. So I've seen that at CVS. I saw it at Starbucks. Starbucks had a similar posting. Maybe even McDonald's. I don't know. This was during COVID-19. This was in 2019 no, this was 2020. Definitely 2020 through 2021. And you just had to deal with it. Derek C. Williams, the toilet paper. Hey, the toilet paper survived this one. I don't know if it's gonna survive another one. Derek C. Williams says the Mint here in Philadelphia made their last penny yesterday. Wow. Yep, it's happening. Dare I say that code? Is that code when I say it's happening? It's code for, I don't know if it's code, but it's just, it's signal. I'm signaling, okay? Is what I am. Derek C. Williams says no pennies nor toilet paper in 2020. And Michelle Hitchcock 4682 flying, no nickels will still be minted. Derek C. Williams says, not even napkins in South Philadelphia. Couldn't figure that one out. Once again, I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and loving on that like button. I really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference. Huge difference. And yeah, so I appreciate it so much for you guys coming in. But I said, this is very timely that with all the things going on with the TSA agents not being paid, they figure they can drop, we've got a way to cut down some of your checkpoint times. We've got a way to make that better for you. It's just interesting. Like I said, timing is of it's of the essence. I do. And I think it's only a matter of time. Speaking of time, I think it's only a matter of time where they're going to continue to lock us out of things. After a while, you're going to be locked out of these things. You're not going to have a choice anymore. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to keep doing these things, and we're going to have more. There's not going to be a restoration. Just because they say, we turn the lights back on. I talked about that this morning, about the amount of symbolism that's in these presentations that these journalists or these gatekeepers that come out on the Fox Newses and all of this, they talked about light, and to me, and darkness. And Joe Biden, of course, talked about dark winters. But we've had a lot of dark winters. Every winter seems to be pretty dark, because every winter they turn the lights off in the frickin' Capitol, your favorite Coliseum, and they tell you the government shut down. So they stoke the fear every winter. It's a fear-stoked winter. And this thing that they approved, what? That was a question that came up to one of these politicians earlier, or last night. Well, is this going to happen for how long? You're going to approve this until what? January 30th? And then what? You're back at it again? Not to mention, I told you guys in one of these packages that I'm sure they were all bipartisan on, that they've approved $203.5 million for enhanced security. That happened in 2019 as well. That happened in 2019 and 2020 as well. During COVID, they wanted to beef up security for themselves. But hey, why don't you go out here and make sure you can use your Apple Make sure you can use your digital ID on Apple. And maybe, and there again, maybe this is another way for them to not have, maybe this is a way for them not to bring back or to maintain as many TSA agents. If they cut down the checkpoints, cut down the amount of people that they're going to have to serve at these airports. They say it's very timely. You know, what are they telling us? They're telling us that our time, is wrapping up before we're all going to be forced into the digital ID. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in on this segment. And for those of you that came in and loved on that like button, and for those of you that have thrown that caution to the wind and the sharing, you know, it's greatly appreciated. More than you know. More than you know. Let's see. Derek C. Williams says, assuming you get past TSA, then you have to worry about the safety on the plane ride. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Let's keep going here. Derek C. Williams says, does her political leanings matter? Fred Chambers says, if you're enjoying the stream, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Michelle Hitchcock 4682, you seem like a conspiracy theorist. Yes, and please guys drop your links in the stream. I'll hang out here for just a little bit. If you guys want to drop your link, I'll give you a few more minutes. It's just, you know, we're watering gardens around here. Watering gardens is what we do. And of course you guys are greatly appreciated. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for taking the time to come in on a Thursday. We're that close to the weekend. But there again, I say that, and then I say I don't want to wish my life away. I mean, I think in essence, I've learned about nobody wants to wish their life away. But we do that. We do that all the time. And that is wishing that we're doing, you know, wishing that we're somewhere else sooner. And I think that's what the essence of wishing your life away is, wishing you could get somewhere else sooner, or get somewhere other than where you are right now sooner, which of course that takes time to do. John Roberts is here. John Roberts is coming in. Thank you so much. This is at John Roberts Jr. on X. So are you on X now? Very nice. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that, John Roberts. And thank you so much for coming in. And for those of you that have loved on that like button on this Thursday, it's Thursday, November 13th. It's what it is. And yeah, so yeah, just keep tuning in. And I think, what is it? Now they with these emails. Okay, now we're back to the good night. I don't think they're ever going to release anything. I don't. You know, and then the other, okay, so dare I say the buzz of the week? What was the biggest buzz of the week? Was it the emails, the Epstein emails, or was it the $2,000 tariff dividend? I mean, come on, guys. Some people have already been calling. Some people have been calling me and asking me about, have you heard about it? Blah, 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 blah. They said it should be blah, 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 blah. I'm just... I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, look at you. Look at you, John Roberts. He says, I'm verified on X. Free speech ain't free. Oh, God. I love it. Love it. Well, I noticed that to get verified on there, you've got to share. You got to pay to say, you know, to express your thoughts. You got to pay to put your ideas out there. You got to do that. Anarchy Television says, wait. Let's see. Anarchy says, even if they do release anything, it will be nothing but breadcrumbs from the circus. Remember, give the people bread and circuses and they will not revolt. Yep. There you go. You're on it. Negative, Michelle Hitchcock 4682, negative. I'm not a anything tard, especially with the TRUMP on the front. Negative, super negative. Derek C. Williams says the shutdown, $2,000, and this white woman kissing Jasmine Crockett's feet. Love it, love it. Michelle Hitchcock 4682. She probably won't answer. Oh no, I answered you. I think I did just fine. You should look around. You check the archives, okay? You know, if you want to know what's going on here, negative. Listen. This is not the dialectic channel. This is not your left, right, blue team, red team. Your seven mountain your 7 mountain maggots show. No, it's not. So yeah, we're no. Just check it out. Check it. Sometimes you gotta do a little. You gotta go do a little bit of digging to see what you want to see. You know, for a little perspective, for a little, for objectivity, it makes a difference. So no, you're not going to get if you're trying to narrow it down here, no, it won't work. Not here. Not at 5. Thank you, but no. Flying Guillotine says these inner cities like Trump for cleaning out some of these hoods. Well, whoa. Flying Guillotine, you're coming in hot there. John Roberts says, I've seen feet kissing in other settings. I'll leave it at that. Well, we appreciate you around here. We appreciate everyone on this channel. And it is a whopping 31 minutes and 57 seconds. Let's see. Anarchy says, Michelle, when you vote, you are giving your written consent for a ruler to rule over you and everyone else. Why would you want to vote for a ruler? This channel just breathes. Hey, like I said, shout out to the class of 2020. Shout out to the class of COVID-19. And I think we have a new class budding right now. I think we have a new class. The class of 2026. Derek C. Williams says, and that's a good thing. We need some restoration, old head dudes. I gotcha. All right, guys. So once again, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a whopping 32 minutes and 51 seconds. So just check out the timing, okay? And just beware of the rhetoric that follows, okay? The shutdown is the startup of what's next. So I'm just saying, are we on shutdown, or are we starting up? We're starting up, okay? It's the startup. Yeah, somebody was trying to troll hard, I guess. I don't know, what do they call it? But yeah, shutdown, start up. So every time we shut down, we start up something else to lock the common man out. Let's see. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and loving on the like button. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and say have a great evening and a great start to your guys' weekend. I'm thinking there's a chance. I'm sure I'm going to come back this weekend. There's a lot going on. There's also a bill. I'm not sure which bill there is. Is there an HR something? An HR bill or something? Michelle, strike 3, you're out. Aw. Hey, it's the prolific Derek C. Williams. He's got it covered around here. And so do we also have Fred. I see. I'm trying to get your name right here. I don't want to goof it up. John Roberts was here as well. Let me just say hi to everybody and then let you guys. Fred Chambers, 7030. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go down the roll call. Thanks so much for coming in, Derek C. Williams. W8725 with the Colombia. invitation. Let's see. I know Combos with Cam was here. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate the support. Flying Guillotine 22. And our television 8445. Let's see. Am I getting everybody in here? Let's see. I think I did. I think I did. John Roberts was here. And John Roberts was here. All right, guys. Have a great start to your week, your Friday / weekend. Thank you for coming in. It says, let's fold up the clothes and hit the home pull-up bar. I got it. There you go. Keep inspiring us out there, Derek Williams, and thank you for hitting the strikes where they needed it. All right, guys. I will see you later. I'll probably see you again for the top of the morning with some morning rundown. All right, guys. Bye for now.